watching the athletes walk out here. We'll introduce them again, of course, as soon as Dave Castro gets done introducing them to the stadium floor. But you will recognize a lot of these faces. These are the athletes with the top scores at this point in time. We are looking at Austin Malley. He is going to be facing off against Chad Mccain, Chris Spealler, Patrick Burke, Mikko Salo, Matt Chan, Graham Holmberg, and Rich Froning Jr. right now, your leader right at the very top of the board. Austin Malley in his white workout gear down there, recognizable over the course of the weekend. And we are just about ready to go on this, the third and final
1
heat
minute.
for the men on the
previous
first
time to beat,
4:57
by Ben Smith.
4:57 by Ben Smith. That is the time to beat. These athletes out there know what it's going to take. They were watching the tape very, very carefully before they came in, watching who was swinging, who did it well, what worked for the guys that did it well, and asking themselves whether it would work for them as well.
It's pretty interesting. I wonder what kind of techniques they were testing out when they were back in the athletes area, you know, watching what these guys were doing here and then going back and testing out their own.
30 seconds. Final men's heat for the morning workout. Let's hear it for them. Bring it up, bring them home. 10 seconds.
10 seconds left before the final heat of the morning.
3, 2, 1, go.
And they are off. Some of the best known athletes in CrossFit here at the CrossFit Games in Carson, California, the Home Depot Center.
Rich Froning,
it's been 3 days of excruciatingly hard work to get to this point, and all of these men want to be here, and they want to be here later this afternoon as well to compete for the top prize. All of these guys very much in the running, and they are moving quickly.
Rich Froning, Chris Spealler, Graham Holmberg, back to their bar.
Are already back to their bars, and we're looking at Chris Spealler down here just below
Rich
us.
Froning,
and
back
that
to his
is
rings on
Rich
the second
Froning, and so
round.
is Graham Holmberg. They are both back. They are beginning their second rounds. And Rich Froning looking like these are regular handstand push-ups, moving up and down.
Yeah, he's not having any problem with those at all. And the thing, this is going to be a good workout for him. He's so strong. He can move the 205 like it's no problem at all. And then he hops right up on the rings, totally unbroken, looks totally solid as he's doing it. Whereas totally different from Chris Spealler, that weight is way over his body weight. And, you know, he's hoping to get to the rings quickly because he can do the handstand push-ups there quick.
Yeah, we are watching Chris Spealler here down below the broadcast booth, and this weight already becoming a little bit of a problem for him. He's catching it pretty low on his chest, having to put a lot of stress on his wrists, and that is going to change things. Chris Spealler, though, going up and down, no problem whatsoever on the handstand push-ups. A little bit of swing there, but not enough to change his pace in any way, shape, or form. And some of the bigger athletes were, there's Chris Spealler right there. He is on your screen, 205 pounds. And of course, Chris Spealler is tipping the scales at about 140 if he wears a really big belt buckle, like one of those rodeo ones. And that brings him in at 140. So a lot of weight for him to move up there, and he's doing it efficiently, having to drop a little bit lower. Froning is taking the lead. It sounds like they're at the now in the middle of your screen, and Graham Holmberg in the red shorts just to the right of him. They are very close to going head-to-head. They are side by side, if not head-to-head yet. And Rich Froning is back now onto the handstand push-ups on those rings. Very little swing when he gets up there. He seems to have figured it out.
Chris Spealler working on his 5th round.
Chris Spealler on his 5th round as well, and you can see how heavy it is, and the wrists taped up. He needs a lot of stability there because he is having to drop under it.
So right next to Chris, you can see Mikko Salo working on his handstand push-ups. Again, this movement is really kind of, you can tell people aren't practicing this a lot. I mean, why would you want to practice this move a lot? I wouldn't want to. But when you see guys like Mikko struggling on movements, obviously that's going to be a tough movement.
It is going to be a tough movement, and you know, a guy like Mikko has all the work capacity in the world to get it done. But if some of these things, if you've never ever done these or worked these movements, Chris Spealler is in the lead. The crowd is getting on its feet.
We're going rep for rep between Chris Spealler and Rich Froning right now.
And at this point, with this much weight, it's going to put Rich at something of an advantage until they get onto the bar. And Rich Froning, I was just looking at doing a split clean to get under that weight. And we're looking at Graham Holmberg there in the red shirts.
All right, so they're both on the rings now, and they're both at 1 rep. And this is where Chris is going to do really well, is the handstands. Rich Froning, he's heavy. He's a big guy.
And that is Graham Holmberg we're looking at right there.
Unbroken.
On his last round, we were looking at 3:46. The time to beat 4:57. That was established by Ben Smith. And that is a lot of weight, and he is still moving it very, very well. And right beside Chris Spealler, of course, is Mikko Salo. But our camera right now is on Graham Holmberg, one of the favorites coming in, certainly at the top of the list. And we have Chris Spealler
one last rep.
That bar, one last rep.
Here we go.
He is on his final round. 4 minutes and 14 seconds, folks. 4 minutes and 57, the time to beat Chris Spealler, with a chance to move right back into the very top of this competition. And one more for Chris Spealler. Let's see if it is.
It's done. Chris Spealler finishes with a top time. Unbelievable.
We're talking about 1 second separating these two athletes, Graham Holmberg and Chris Spealler.
Unbelievable. He was moving, that was over 50 pounds over his body weight on each one of those cleans. Unbelievable job for Chris Spealler.
And if they were neck and neck, and we're talking 1, maybe 2 seconds separating those two athletes. 4:27 is the new time to establish that Chris Spealler has moved up to the top. And here comes Graham Holmberg to congratulate Spealler. And terrific workout. We're looking at Rich Froning there, who was falling a little bit back off the pace. Mikko Salo is trying to generate a little bit more pace himself. You see him at the top of your screen there. Workout. And
7th round.
Mikko is on his 7th round right now, so he is going to get a very good time. Remember, this is about consistency and sustainability over the course of several days. So some big changes likely in the offing here in terms of the overall rankings. There's a look at Mikko, who goes down, sets himself, and then a big push higher to the lockout. And this is Mikko Salo's last round. And he only has, I believe, 2 reps. One more rep for Austin, 2 more reps, I believe, for Mikko. Mikko Salo is back on the 2 more reps, and
final rep here.
Final rep. He's going to shake his shoulders out. 1 more for Mikko, 1 more for Austin, and Austin dips, and he is locked out. Mikko Salo is locked out. Both of these guys are finished at 6 minutes and change, 6 minutes, 4 seconds, 6 minutes and 6 seconds, thereabouts. And there's Matt Chan.
Matt Chan just went down again, getting his legs all tangled up in those cables.
One of Graham beats Spiel by 1/10 of a second is what we're hearing for the judges. Incredibly close call there. They were going, I guess, head to head across from one another in the handstand rig here as we're looking at it, and 1/10 of a second, and so very, very close. Graham Holmberg might be right back up in first place. And again, we're looking at
Matt Chan, and he's done.
That is Pat Burke, and looking to finish out his workout as well. And again, a ton of time. They have a 12-minute time limit on this. Austin Malliolo is done. Mikko Salo is done. And, of course, it was head-to-head with Graham Holmberg and Chris Spealler, and separating just 1/10 of a second. Both those guys still out here cheering on their fellow athletes.
2 more reps for Matt Chan. Patrick Burke.
Well, it sounds like we are hearing still that it was a 1 second, my mistake, a 1 second separation between Graham Holmberg and Chris Spealler. And again, very, very close from where we were standing here. It was impossible to tell who actually got that last one up. But a look at the judges' papers, and that's what we have. Graham Holmberg by a single second. And we're looking at Matt Chan trying to get another unable to straighten the legs out.
So frustrating.
Because the arms were straight, he was locked out. Then it's a matter of trying to chafe your legs all the way up the straps of those rings.
Nice. There we go. Matt Chan is finished.
Matt Chan at 8:11. Patrick Burke. And I think we still have one athlete. Yes, Patrick Burke is the one athlete, two athletes still out there.
Burke.
2 more reps for Patrick Burke, the last one to go there. And we are looking at there Chad Mccain, who's got a little bit more work to do yet. And heading all the way over to the wall and just shaking himself out, thinking about what he has to do here. Again, this is the final heat. This will set the rankings for the final event of the day. We don't know what that event is. If you're just joining us here at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California, I'm Marty Say here with Bill Grunler, and we are witnessing an incredible competition of strength, agility, coordination, balance. It's all come together, perseverance, endurance, and consistency right across the board.
You can see the crowd, they're really getting into it. Happy that they're in the stands, not doing the handstand push-ups, and they're watching them do the handstand push-ups. But I tell you what, there have been some amazing races here.
Patrick Burke. Chad Mccain, 1 rep shy.
And we have Chad Mccain, 1 rep shy of 4. And again, all of these athletes with the opportunity to move on, not just move on, but move well up in the rankings. And of course, perhaps a big change at the top. We'll have to get the final statistics though, because it seems like we have Graham Holmberg, who might have just taken this competition, this event rather, pardon me, by a single second, and that will give him a 1, and could very well move him up into the top position. But we will have to get that from the statisticians, and we will be updating the site in just a few seconds. That is Pat Burke. Chad Mccain still working there. That was Pat Burke just finished right there. He just completed that event, last wrap. 10 minutes and 10 minutes and change, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. And looking at Chad Mccain, again, one of the 3 biggest athletes, I believe, in the entire competition, and taking a bit of just a splash of water before he gets back onto those rings and on his knees. And here we go. Let's have a look at what he needs to do and what he hopes to get done.
Come on, let's get him up. Let's get him up. Come on, Chad. Get it.
And that was a good rep, and he has just a couple more to get, but the time is running out. The winning time, 4:27. Graham Holmberg, and 4:28 was Chris Spealler on that workout. And we are looking at Chad Mccain right now on your screen. He has to squeeze out 3 more reps, and he has just under 45 seconds to get that work done. Let's see if he can go to full extension.
That one counts.
30 seconds remaining.
So 30 seconds left remaining in this event. They're going to cap it there. I believe he has 2 more reps.
2 more reps left to go, and every rep counts. The ticking clock is just the end of the workout. It's not a DNF by any means, just the time left in the workout, and he is going to get credit for each and every rep, and that will decide his ranking in this heat, in this event, and in the games thus far.
3, 2, 1, time.
Oh, and he was so close. The crowd appreciating the effort, the crowd cheering them on. An extraordinary performance. That was the final heat of the first event of the final day of the 2010 CrossFit Games. You're looking at Chad Mccain sign his card, and he is glad to be done with it.